past, fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, I have been meaning to release a part to this series for a little bit of time, but it has been skipping my mind. Since I'm primarily trying to focus on the Venom Deku What If, and I am trying to get focused back onto my Quicksilver What If. Now, I have gone over some things about this What If, and I'm going to try to use what I do have from memory. So please bear or keep that in mind if I do sound like I'm messing up or slowing it down a little bit. Now, whenever we last left off, Izuku Midoriya, he was captured by werewolves. And, well, the hospital that he was in was destroyed. His mother was arrested, and he was currently on the run. Now, werewolves did capture Midoriya and take him in. Vampires having to seek shelter away from the sun. Now, with that being said, we do pick up with Midoriya, who is currently in a room, as it is very dark, him having flashes and glimpses of a life that is not his own. As he is then informed by a man who does walk into the room that he will be turning soon. What are you talking about? Young boy, you are the descendant of Corvinus. What? Corvinus. You are the descendant of the Forgotten Son. In old days, times before, well, anything, really. Centuries ago, there were 3 sons. They inherited something from their father. He was the only survivor of a plague, and his genes were passed on to his sons. Now, this man would go on to become the only true immortal. And his sons, one was bitten by a bat, one was bitten by a wolf, and the third son, well, he fled whenever a war broke out between the family. And, well, that is your ancestor. What? That doesn't make any sense. Young man, your entire life you've been running from us. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. But you finally got me. So what do you want with me? That's simple, really. We are going to turn you into a hybrid. A what? A hybrid. Something that is between the species. We will bridge the gap to both worlds, and you will be the most powerful being on the planet. What? That's insane. Insane? Maybe, maybe not. But after all the effort we've been putting into finding you, we have gone too far to give up. Now, you do understand. The man then holding up a small little vial, talking about how this is the blood of an elder, a woman who was over 1,000 years old. Now, Midoriya does just look at it. The man telling Midoriya that during the full moon, in a few days, Midoriya will be given this blood, injected with it while he is transforming. And they will then see what type of effects it does have on him. Now, the man would then leave the room. As we do cut over to Selene and Toga. Both these two did take cover the previous day, and whenever night fell, they did go back to the coven, trying to warn their higher-ups or their leaders about what's happening. This has something to do with Corvinus, and things that she's not supposed to know. As she would wake up an elder who would listen to her, and that entire process would happen. Her waking up the first vampire, and basically going over the information with him. This boy, his name is Michael Corvin. However, his original name is Zuko Midoriya, and her spieling over everything, as he does try and inform her to let it all go. Her telling him that that's not going to happen. This is simply far above them. Whatever the vampires, or not vampires, whatever the werewolves or the Lycan are going to do with this child, he is going to either be a weapon or something more. Now, along with that, this elder is informed that the other elders, or the ones who are coming to the city to inspect the coven, are dead, and that multiple of them have been drained of blood. Now, this is quite strange. The elder, in his mind, immediately putting it all together about what the Lycan might be doing, and informing Selene to leave, along with her little apprentice. Now, with that being said, they do leave, as he does tell everyone within the coven to simply armor up and to get things ready. Within the next few days, they are going to be trying to find this quote-unquote hybrid, as you would call it. Him informing Selene to remain within the manor. Now, obviously, Selene would disobey. And we do have the night of the full moon, where Midoriya, he is strapped down to a table, and he's sweating profusely, his body still trying to fight off the infection, while the Lycan doctor is talking about how the boy won't last very long in his current state, and how it's a miracle his body's been able to survive for this long. Now, Midoriya, the experiment is about to begin. However, Selene and Toga do break into the place that Midoriya is currently being held. They were clearing out Lycan Nest for almost a few nights, and tonight is the night they find Midoriya. Now, this is whenever the man does actually run out of the room, telling him to simply get things ready already, and to turn the child, as he does try and get things prepared, trying to wait on the full moon. Once Midoriya starts to show symptoms of changing, he needs to turn him immediately. Then, and only then, will the process be complete. Now, we do cut over to Selene and Toga, along with a few other death dealers who've been clearing out Lycan Nest throughout the city, as they are cutting and killing their way through a bunch of Lycan. Now, Toga does ask Miss Selene exactly why are they here, and looking for this boy. To which she does try to explain that that boy has something to do with Corvinus, And very likely, if they can get him, then they can get answers. Find out the information that he does know. If they're able to get a sample of his blood, they can see his memories. And find out who he really is. Now, Toga does just tell Miss Celine that they are breaking a whole lot of rules. And if the Coven will forgive them for this. Celine talking about how, if the payoff is good enough, then yes. However, if it is not, then, well, it's not going to be very good. Now, they do make their way throughout the facility, as we do have the other vampires, who do actually try to inform Celine that she knows a little bit too much about things. Now, this would actually be whenever Midoriya, he does begin to show signs of changing. And, well, he's beginning to turn into a lichen. The doctor running over and actually beginning to inject the blood into Midoriya. As Midoriya's heart rate and, well, life signs are all going haywire. Now, Toga actually does run into the room, while Celine and the vampire elder are actually fighting. Now, Toga does just bring the gun up and fire silver bullets directly into the doctor. As she actually does then run over and look at Izuku, as his body is just convulsing. And the monitors on the wall do so that he's going haywire, as his entire pulse and heart rate flatline. Now, this is quite confusing, as Toga does just watch Midoriya, as the changes on his body, or the lichen changes, are beginning to vanish. And she actually does try and wake him up, smack him, hit him in the chest, do anything. However, his body just feels as tough as steel, her smashing down on his heart more. Before a heartbeat, and Midoriya's pulse is starting to normalize. Now, Toga then just does watch as Midoriya, he becomes a lichen. His eyes turn pitch black, and he goes from a lichen to a hybrid. Now, Midoriya immediately does just throw himself up and turn to look at Toga. Her just staring at Midoriya, as he hisses at her. Before actually at least lunging at her and biting into her neck. And learning the information he does need. Now, Toga does scream out in pain. However, Midoriya, he does just throw her down to the ground. And say, "Ally." Her looking up at him with fear in her eyes. As Midoriya does look and see Celine and the Elder fighting. Him just running forwards and straight through the wall. As he does jump down before landing on his feet. And bringing himself back up. The vampire elder staring at Midoriya. And calling him the Abomination. Now, Celine does just turn her head to look. However, Midoriya is gone, and she does turn back to look at Midoriya, as he's directly behind the elder, her eyes widening. Before he does just turn around, seeing Midoriya, as Midoriya just does sock him straight in the face. The man actually trying to slash into Midoriya's side. Now, the moment he does actually just bring the sword up and try to stab it into Midoriya's side, the sword hits against Midoriya, cutting into his flesh. However, he does just look down at it, before reaching out and grabbing the blade, and snapping it. The man backing away as he does realize that Midoriya has a tolerance or immunity to silver. Now, Midoriya, he then just grab the blade and rip it straight out, before looking at it, looking at his reflection in it. His eyes are pitch black, and his skin is blue. This feeling is the best I've ever felt in my entire life. Why didn't I ever do this before? Why was I running? And then looking back at the vampire, before dropping the blade and rushing at him. Now, the vampire is not ready for Midoriya's overwhelming speed. Him grabbing the man and slamming him directly into a pillar, before just smashing his head into it and pulling his head backwards, smashing him over and over and over again. As Celine does watch, Midoriya actually bite into the man's neck and begin to feed. Now, Midoriya would then rip the man apart, rip him to absolute shreds, as she does try to get his attention. Now, with that, she does actually cock back the gun. Midoriya hearing it as he does just look up, before dropping the body and slowly turning back around. As Midoriya is giving her a side glance, before he does just fully turn around. Her asking him exactly what is he. Before Midoriya just to say, Core Venus. Now, Midoriya does just look lost for a second, as he's seeing the memories. He's seeing things that he shouldn't be allowed to see. And he does just look back at her, as he does just point down, telling her to feed, learn. Her confused, as she does tell Midoriya that she's not going to feed on him. Now, Midoriya does actually just slowly go to bend down as he does turn around, dipping two of his fingers in the blood, before he disappears. Now, Celine does go to spin around and try to hit Midoriya. However, Midoriya just grab her by her arm and throw it down, before grabbing her by her throat and sticking his fingers onto her lips, as she does taste the blood. And she does begin to see the memories. Now, she does realize that she's kind of not welcome to the Coven anymore. Whatever is going on back there now, basically, she's on the run. As she does actually try to bring her other hand up and hit Midoriya, him just pushing her away. As she does actually go flying backwards before landing back onto her feet, telling him that, is he gonna kill her? Don't know. Need I... Him actually reverting back for a minute. As he does shrink back down, he does actually scream, before falling down onto his knees, looking up at her and asking what the hell was that. Impressive. You just killed an elder. Not a feat many can achieve. Especially not a newborn. Newborn? My head. My stomach. I feel like I'm gonna puke. That would not be surprising. Now. Things have just gotten a little bit more complicated, young one. Or should I call you Michael? Or would you prefer Izuku? Midoriya looking up at her. That name. I haven't heard it in years. It doesn't even feel familiar. I can understand the feeling. Now, where is my apprentice? Midoriya just pointing up to the wall he jumped out of, talking about how she's up there. Now, Celine does find Toga, who is currently at least trying to heal from her injury, asking what happened. Her saying that guy went ballistic and attacked her. To which Celine does say that it does make sense. He just killed the elder. What? That's possible? Apparently. It's not just that. He's immune to silver. That's crazy. Wait. He's Both, right? Hmm? He's lichen and vampire, right? Yes, he is. Does that mean that he has immunity to the sunlight as well? I don't know. However, we may need to find out sooner than we think. Now, Midoriya and them do leave, as they would get into a vehicle and drive away. Midoriya arguing that they need to find his mother, as they would explain to him that that is the first thing that the lichen would want. They want to try and catch Midoriya after he does go for his mother. So, what they need to do right now is run. Her saying that if her mother does know about lichens and vampires, they're sure that she will understand. And that Midoriya's survival is what matters to her the most, is it not? Now, Midoriya would argue this, as they do continue to drive. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.